So here we have a couple of matches that you're going to see Yunaka in. So we're going to go with first 80 Yunaka in this first matchup here against a pretty standard defense for where we are in the game. At least for light season at the very least. We got Boulder, who I still think is a very good unit. It's going to be interesting to see how Boulder evolves as the game moves forward, because the safety fence is really her primary role on defense, destroying that. So at some point, she's probably going to be replaced, and I don't know what that unit will be or what function that unit will offer. More than likely won't be able to break the safety fence because we have not seen a unit that replicate what Duma does. So that's more than likely going to be a Boulder specific thing. But there's going to be someone better than her. It's not Valley. That much she's she's good, Valley, but she's not necessarily better. So it's going to be interesting to see who replaces Boulder in the future, because I still think what she does is highly valuable. Just to not get not get locked down is so good. Like I can't especially now in the meta where they can sweep you in one turn, or pit and run is still very possible with the units that are available. So to not get shut down by the safety fence, that's still a really, really good thing. So that's just something to consider. But I mean, there's still, in my opinion, not that long left in the game. Well, I mean, 3 years is long, give or take. But in the realms of Fate, it's probably not the longest. So then again, this is all hypothetical. No one really knows what the future holds. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how she evolves in terms of whether or not that B skill sticks around. And I could definitely see it being removed at some point, because I don't run the safety fence, and I'm sure that at some point everyone will get to a point where they're just no longer using it at all. Or maybe we'll get some other structure that's just better than what the safety fence has to offer, because it didn't exist before. So yeah, that's something to consider. Maybe a structure that removes bonuses, and it has to be like leveled up to remove a certain number of bonuses. I don't know. There's things that they could do, but yeah, standard defense. BK really makes this whole thing work alongside Camilla, and then you have Byleth for the threat range. Not a range nuke anymore. Far cry from when you had I still love this unit. Duo Shamir, with Shamir and I'm forgetting her name, Catherine, and far cry from when you had those, or that unit being the most monstrous thing on defense because of the speed and how hard they would hit. It's going to be interesting to see what the Refine has to offer. I'm pretty sure it's going to be more damage at the very least. I still think they're a decent unit if you put together the right support, but then that could be said about most units these days. But yeah, it's all melee. Like, Loki's the only range unit on the opposing team. So yeah, it's all melee. I guess Camilla is the one playing the role of the melee nuke now, obviously. Maybe you could fit a ranged nuke in the position, but then Camilla covers so much threat range, and then you'd have to have the range unit come down, rally Byleth, and then still not the same amount of threat range. So it's a gamble. But it is possible. You could probably 1, 2, 3. They'd have to move 4 spaces to be viable, or warp that far, and I don't know how you would be able to do that. Shadow Smite coming in clutch. Some reason we're not able to take out the Black Knight here, probably because he's not debuffed. He doesn't have the Boulder thing being a negative and then helping out my damage output, which is interesting because Freyr is the one that's preventing that from happening. So Freyr's still the GOAT. But we are able to get past this. It's just a hindrance for the moment. It is something that we're able to overcome as the match goes along, and you're going to see, like I mentioned before, that Peony is still very, very good. Very, very good. The mythic version at that. But yeah, you're just gonna watch this play out. There's nothing too complicated that will happen in this particular match. We just take out the threatening units and move on with our day. Yunaka plays a big part, and then we have the warp. Tend to forget that Yunaka has pass built in. She's a really good partner with the Skullvig here because of how far she can go. I've been thinking of putting this Skullvig on the other team, so I'll have like 2 Skullvigs on the same team, which is like 6 actions in 2 units. So, well, is it really 6, 7, 8 actions in 2 units? And I think that's like how can that be bad? You know, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm probably going to do it. Problem is that none of them really take out BK, so I'd have to supplement. I'd have to find someone else to fill that particular role, which is why Boulder is here. But so far she's failing at her job because of Freyr, to be precise.
Are there bandits here? You have orders?
But yeah, we're just looking for options right now in terms of getting this, getting the KO. Thanksgiving.
Where to now?
Like I said, some people don't celebrate it, but it's currently. I don't even know what day it is. It's a Monday as I'm recording this. I don't know what day Thanksgiving will fall on, but you can definitely expect a trailer reveal or something around that time frame because it's a really good period for people to be making. Gaming companies at that, to be making money, so they typically like to do some type of rollout around then. No, I don't think it'll be anything too different from the rollouts that we've gotten before. This Black Friday, I think, has been one of the weakest ones. IS really has themselves to blame for that. I don't think they're going to assumptions, but I mean, again, old units, just very low value, and there's not much, unless you're going to put out a pack that sells Black Knight or a pack that sells Ganilla. It's just not a way for them to really make that much money off of these old units. So I don't imagine they'll be making very much for the Black Friday sales, unless they were to like sell Ash, the new, the one that we got, the Bouquet Ash, for some really. It'd have to be something recent. You can't be selling Valentine's Edelgard on the packs nowadays. Not to say that she's bad or anything, but power curves, power levels. That's what I would do if I was in charge, or that's what I would like think about fixing if I was in charge. But I'm not, so your wallets are safe. But yeah. I don't know, man. Not much.
Your defenses
not much going on. Jujutsu Kaisen is coming back soon. Gonna be interesting. I'm pretty sure they're gonna alter the ending because everyone already knows. I hate when they have the opportunity to fix something from the manga and they don't take that opportunity with the anime, because a lot of the anime ending or the manga ending was not great for JJK. So hopefully the writer rectifies that with the anime and writes this. Well, I don't know. It's you as an author, you rarely get the opportunity to improve your work once it goes out and once it's seen. Everyone will always remember the original. So to have the opportunity to try to improve on what was done is definitely something that should not be missed. So hopefully they do that there. I mean, it was done with Naruto. The ending that you got from the manga versus what you watched the show, 2 completely different things. While Black Zetsu taking over was still pretty bad in terms of how to ruin a whole villain final arc because Madara was just so powerful they just didn't know what to do with him. And just Black Zetsu, and then surprise. Not a great twist. Kind of came out of nowhere. It just wasn't that great of a twist. Even after, buffing Naruto and Sasuke to god level,
Take on the task.
still not able to really blah blah blah. My guy would have been the right option to end that series, to have my guy be the one to take out Madara. That would have been the right way. But then, how do you really make it make sense? It didn't even make sense for him to be as powerful as he was. But they did it anyways. But I don't know. I overall, I just think it's a great opportunity to write better. As you can see here, Freya is the one that's left standing because he was just too powerful. I couldn't kill him. But really, I just needed to leave someone behind, and he just made the most sense. He isn't going to double, and he's not going to get, in my way too much. So
You have orders?
get to leave him for last. What are you even doing
Got it.
in Light and Dark Season? Go away. Man, a lot of people rematched me this week on defense, and they lost units and just did not surrender, which is... but whatever. Alright, we're going to keep going. This is the second match with the new Yunaka. This one we failed. I believe we did. Did I fail? I think I did. I think this one was a failure. Hold on. Yeah, this one was a loss. We made a... Well, it's not a mistake. It's a... So, essentially the most threatening... Powerful? That's not the word. The most difficult unit on this map was, in fact, Loki. Loki was the one that forced me to actually have to make... or actually have to play this game in a different way than I would have intended. If Loki wasn't here, this would have been a lot easier because I wouldn't have had to move my units all the way to the left side of the map just to avoid her removing my bonuses. Was it the bonuses that was really the problem? Boulder kind of needs the bonuses. And I needed the style effect to be able to attack over the terrain, the grass terrain, and not get stuck as... Well, I still get... But it would be easier to get away if I had the 2 range. And then also Yunaka would have been impacted as well. So, Loki, really, the positioning of this Loki, great spot to put her in. That's typically where I position my Loki as well. There you go. Yunaka does indeed win that matchup pretty easily, which is impressive to see. He's not transformed, which I was kind of confused about, but then I realized that there's no other beast unit on the team, so that's why he's not transforming. I'm referring to Jimbro. So he's not able to get his distant counter off, which makes it easier for Yunaka to actually just take him out. But then, Loki just removing all of my bonuses here, which is... pretty annoying. So we had to move the team to the left side of the map just to avoid her completely. I typically put my Loki as well in that position, or the position where Boulder is in, because both of those spots cover a large section of the map, and it forces your opponent the majority of the time to make some type of mistake, which is kind of what ends up happening. Is it a mistake? I think it's probably more accurate to describe it as me getting stuck, because just ran out of actions, and there's no one on the team that really... Well, I mean...
They won't see me coming.
Yeah, I just ran out of actions. You'll see it as the match plays. Overall, this is a decent defense. Camilla is in a great spot to come down and smack something in the face. Ryoma with the +1 movement. Valencia with the +1 movement. And then... Freya, I think, is an excellent frontliner as well. So overall, a really good defense. I actually could have just won this if I had used the Golvig team, because Loki is actually the magic save because she has the highest res naturally, so that her weapon does, her C skill does the thing that it's supposed to do. So I could have just initiated with a magic unit that would have been able to take out Loki, of which there are many. But the trap placements made me not want to do that. So yeah, that was an alternative approach to being able to win this particular matchup. As you can see here, pretty much all the units here are physical, meaning they do melee or attack defense instead of res. So I don't know if there's some type of... Honestly, all of the units here are kind of needed. There's not anyone that... aside from maybe Yunaka. If Yunaka was a mage... Ooh,
at your command, say
spicy.
the word.
But yeah, pretty much all of the units here are physical in nature, so they're all kind of targeting Armored Bro. And as you can see, Yunaka is doing her job. Not a lot stopping her, but we just run out of moves because I now have to go from the left side of the map to the right side of the map, because that is where the enemy is. And Boulder failing this this KO is also another unfortunate thing. Miracle allowing him to live, but Armor Bro there against Hearthwalker. Typically she gets that. And I haven't used the dance yet, so there's a lot of things to take into consideration. But he, out of range of the miracle effect, he dies, as you can see. And then also Yunaka kind of kills him.
Are there bandits here?
But yeah, having to move from the from the left to the back over to the right, just to KO everyone, because I kind of have to KO everyone, including Camilla, or more than specifically Camilla, because she has the Micaiah ring. And she can get pretty far when she puts down the terrain, so not an option to leave her alive, and she's kind of tucked away in the back corner there, making it kind of difficult to get to her. But as you'll see, it kind of plays out where that was also a part of the thing that led to me losing this particular match. It was a good match overall. I think this is a really well-built defense. Still think Black Knight would have made this better, though. Yeah, still think Black Knight would have made this better. That aside, it has been good to see My Hero Academia actually popping off with the latest season. This is a season with all of the big fights, so it was to be expected. But then also they could have just messed it up, because look what's happening to One Punch Man. That is that's a disaster, man. I can't believe, I look at the manga art for One Punch Man, and then I look at the animation, and I'm just like, wow, this is really bad. Really, really bad. Or lack of animation, to be specific. So I don't know why they gave it to that studio. I'm hoping that they can just take it back from them and give it to some other studio and let them just redo the whole thing. That would be great. But it's sad to see such a beautifully drawn manga get such a terrible adaptation. Yeah, everyone's upset. It's really sad to see. It reminds you of Blue Lock, but at least Blue Lock had the excuse of it being COVID, and everyone was kind of stuck at home, and it was kind of difficult to, put that whole thing together. But yeah, this like, comparing to season 1 of One Punch Man to even season 2 of One Punch Man to what we're looking at now, it is a massive fall off. So that is a shame. But yeah, My Hero Academia looks fantastic. The fights have been really good so far. Man, I'm really actually rooting for Bakugo. Hopefully he pulls through. Even though I already know how it ends, but still, watching it's so beautiful. I just can't get enough. And the voice acting again is fantastic, like I mentioned before. And Stain and All Might. It's really good. But yeah, that's there's also Spy Family, but I haven't started to watch that yet. I'm kind of just waiting for them to get further into the meat of the story. We've been kind of skating or coasting along the peripheries of what's supposed to actually happen for so long now. I wonder when they'll actually get to the good stuff.
We'll see it through.
But aside from that, there's not really much going on in terms of animation stuff that's coming out. And I'm kind of actually worried for because there was a period where there was like a slew of new manga that was coming out that was like hype and like really really good, but I don't really see that. We're kind of in a lull period where I feel like it's a transition, and they're kind of trying to figure out what to write next in terms of what the next big thing is going to be. Seems like Uma Musume, which is like not my thing, and then also the K-pop Demon Slayers, and then we're starting to see more transition into animation outside of Japan and like Chinese animation and what stories they can tell from there. I'm not the biggest fan of the dubbing and the subs from there, so if they can find a way to work together with Japanese studios to bring that to life, then that would be great for me. Because my experience watching some of those, it's a bit jarring to go from one voice to the next, one accent to the next. It makes it a little bit more difficult to digest the story because it's distracting. So yeah, hopefully they can just bring it over. I had like the worst experience watching a Korean sub anime. It was just so bad. So I hopefully don't want to go through that again. And it was a good story too, because I read the manga and I knew it would have been good, and I was like, this is really bad. But hopefully I don't have to go through that. But I think Japanese manga storytelling is kind of just going through a transition in terms of what story to tell next, because the reincarnation genre is kind of saturated. There's not a lot left to do there. Same can be said about the power fantasy. You don't really get, I have that one cheat skill, blah 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 blah, and now I'm the most overpowered. There's not a lot left in terms of that aspect of storytelling either. So kind of where do they go next? And it's the same thing kind of happening with Hollywood as well, in terms of like what movies to put out. You saw, like, I think the last Mission Impossible, like they did, was kind of a flop. Like I didn't even watch it. I was like, Tom Cruise is like, how old? Why are you still doing this? Put someone else in there, tell a different story. And they've kind of like run out of ideas in terms of what to put out. Like I haven't really seen a ton of great movies, or heard of a ton of Sinners was really good from what I could see of it. And I feel like we need to go more along that route in terms of examining folklore and tales that we haven't really heard a lot of before. This was the problem. Choosing between Camilla and Loki, and then also getting away, unable to retreat because of the terrain. If we had enough Kanto, probably could have backed off and try to figure it out. And then also Lynn was isolated, so she couldn't swap again. But Loki needed to die here. And as you'll see, Loki's the reason that we lose this match. But if Loki, it was a gamble, and I was gambling that Loki wouldn't have killed. But if I had stayed there, then Boulder would have killed Lucina for sure. So tough call. Tried to gamble, it didn't work out. That's kind of how it happened. But not a lot of. I had to pause my Netflix subscription because I was just like, what is here to really watch that isn't old and not weird? I just finished watching Black Mirror, and it was really fantastic. Some of them weren't like 10 out of 10s, but there's definitely like some gems in there that I think are like fantastic for where we are and will age well into the future. But then I didn't want to pick up Stranger Things right after. It was kind of like, this is weird, and then to watch another weird thing. I kind of want to break from that. Let me get some adventure or something, So I paused it. Nothing really going on there for me to like get into. And then I've been looking at Deku fighting All Might and Shigaraki, and that's really been my thing. But I don't really know what I'm going to do after that. And then some of the romance stuff just hasn't been hitting. Some of the like Blue Box, I'm waiting on that to come back because they kind of ended mid-season, so I'm kind of waiting on that to come back, even though it's not that great. Like it's no dangers in my heart, but it's still pretty okay for what it is. The flagrant flower blooms was fantastic. And that's been my fix, but I haven't been able to find anything that is on that level since. So, kind of just chilling. You're about to see Loki KO someone. This is so close too. I mean, it's one over. She would have been dead either way, but I was hoping for some damage reduction or something to save me here, but nothing of the sort. 57 exactly, and that's that. I think Peony was also in range, so maybe Peony would have died instead. I don't know, but this was a tough loss. Took me so long. GG's, you got me.